Hello, this video is about constructing a histogram on the graphing calculator. So first of all, you'd have to be given a list of data and you would enter that data into your calculator. So you hit Stat, Enter, and then you type in your list. And you want to make sure that you're being accurate. The list does not have to be in order because the calculator will put it in order. And again, make sure you're accurate so you can look at it as you're typing. Also, if you notice the number in parentheses next to the L1, that indicates the number of the data point in the list. So I'm now entering the 9th data point. You can also use this to help you check. So it looks like I have 16 data points. So I'm just going to go back and check that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So that looks good. So the first thing you do is you hit Stat, Enter, and you type in your list. Then when you want to make a graph, that's under Stat Plot, which is above y equals. So you hit second, y equals, and that brings you to Stat Plot. You want to hit Enter, and then you want to turn this on and choose the type of graph that you're trying to make. So I'm trying to make a histogram, so it's this middle one right here that looks like a bar graph. You hit Enter, and you'll notice that it only has an X list, and you do want to make sure that it's where you put your data. So I'm turning this on. And now for a histogram, you really have to set your window. To set your window, you have to look at your data. So when I go to set my window, the X-min must match to the lowest number on your list. So the lowest number on my list is a 51. The highest number on my list is a 99. Scale. That's the size of the box you're trying to create on the bar graph. So I'm going to make the size of my interval size 10. Okay, Y minimum, I put 0 because that's the least number of data points that can be in a set. And for Y max, I would say start with 10. You might have to adjust it later, but 10 is a good place to start. Okay. So now when I hit the word graph, you should get your bar graph. This bar graph is called a histogram because along the bottom, the intervals are of numbers. So when you hit trace, that will put your cursor on the histogram, and you will notice underneath it, it tells you what the interval is. So this interval starts at equal to 51 and ends at less than 61. So in this case, it would be 51 to 60. The N along the side here tells you how many numbers are in that bar graph or how many data points fulfill that bar. So there's 2 data points for that. I would put that on my frequency table. You arrow over and it tells you 3, and then over to 2, over to 5, and over to 4. That's the frequency. Frequency just means how many. So how many data points are in that bar. You would copy that, and then you would construct your histogram on your paper. When you're constructing your histogram on your paper, you would put the intervals along what we consider the x-axis, the horizontal, and you would put the frequency along what we're considering the y-axis or the vertical. You need to make sure everything is properly spaced and scaled. So everything has to be of equal width, of equal height when you're creating your scale. And that's how you make a histogram on the graphing calculator.